is if there is pain at the present moment, I know that if I do something about the cause of the pain will go away. So then how can I say that there is no story? If stories change, so will my pain. Yeah? But the story is something that you made up. Who are you without stories? Who's left without stories? Who's experiencing all those stories? Who? So the stories aren't real. Like the way that you tell your story is different from another way, like the way your parents tell your story, or the way another person sees it. There's no fixed stories. But if you change your apparent relationship to that story, then more than likely you're going to feel better. But it's like an endless dance, because you can't control this life to constantly have pleasure. Like, so you can't control this to always have good stories, to always have good experiences. And you don't, that's not what you want. What you want is just to deeply relax in this and just to let the pain and pleasure come. You just want to be deeply home now. Like, pleasure is that sensation of eating food. Pleasure is, you know, like making love, but you don't want that all the time. Like, do you really want pleasure all the time? What you want is a deep-seated contentment in everything. And that contentment is knowing who you are, which is this moment. It's the collapse of seeking to maintain pleasure, to maintain a story of positivity or goodness. It's this craving for pleasure to always be there and avoiding of pain. And that craving, that seeking, is what creates this illusion of self. This idea that you are somebody moving through time, and your constant fixation is on these good experiences, or your experience. And you know this emptiness of self, like when you're driving and you're completely like involved in driving, like the body's functioning, the body's driving, and yet there's nobody driving, it's just empty. Like all the world is coming and disappearing and appearing and disappearing in a vastness. Like driving is such a great one for that, because when you're driving, it's often like a really good meditation, because there's nobody driving, the body does all its stuff, and there's this empty looking where it seems like the world is going past you, but actually the world is in you. And it's like you are still and the world is moving in you. You are that still watcher, and it seems like it's moving past your head and everything, but actually it's there is this stillness and there's this movement happening too. You're also the movement as well.